Howdy, Aggs. AggieCentral podcast has a hot button topic for you today. Let's talk about Jimbo getting fired. Maybe not something you want to think about, but it's a real possibility, at least within the next 2 years. Is it probable after this year? Maybe. Very difficult to say. Let me lay the groundwork for you on how that might be possible if it's going to happen. I got two places where I really think this is most likely to take place. Percentage wise, it's hard to say. I'll try and put that on there at the end, give you what I think is likely to happen if one of these two scenarios plays out. But let's talk about what they are, and then I'll give those to you. I think number one, especially looking at the 2023 year, you've got to go with choice of. I think you've got to go with the choice of quarterback. Jimbo's got to make the right choice this year. Let's lay the groundwork for this. So let's look back at 2021. In 2021, we decide to go with Haynes King, right, over Calzada. Not really controversial at the time. What took place that year? First game against Kent State. Haynes King throws for somewhere north, I think, of 300, maybe 324, maybe even a little bit higher. 3 interceptions, as I remember it, and 1 fumble, right? That was a labored game, not great. Next game, we're playing Colorado, right? We go to Colorado. I don't think he's thrown an interception yet. Probably makes a interesting decision to run. Gets thrown around like a rag doll. Breaks the leg, the foot, fracture, whatever it was. Out for the rest of the year. Insert Calzada. Now, okay, we chose Haynes King. He went out. Calzada comes in. And has he been developed? This is not exactly choice of QB, but it also has to do with the QB. So I am going to go ahead and filter this in here. We go through the rest of the year. Amazing effort as it was. Calzada gives pretty much all he's got. We were told this guy was a gunslinger, back in 2019, getting recruited out of Georgia. Maybe that's true. Having trouble seeing where the ice water was in the veins. I'm not sure where the inlet was. We saw that against Alabama. We won Alabama. We beat them that year. Amazing effort by him. The dude's tough as nails. But he decides to transfer out afterwards. So I guess he's thinking Haynes is getting the job again next year. I've just gone through all this. I don't know. The development throughout the year for him just wasn't there for me as well. Going into 2022, here we are. Last year, we are going to go with Haynes King again. We're going to go with him over Max Johnson. We're going to go with him over Connor Weekman. We ended up playing 3 quarterbacks last year. First game, Sam Houston State. What do we got? We got a 31, I believe, to nothing win. Again, struggle bus, in my opinion. We got 2 INTs again. So here we are. The first 2 games, both years, we're in the 6 turnover range. And that's a bad choice. Be that as it may, however you want to look at it. Wrong choice. It's got to be the wrong choice in one way, shape, or form. Either the guy wasn't developed the way we needed to have him developed, or he just didn't have it. I don't know, but that's what we went with, and we chose that over Max and Connor this last year. So Haynes goes into App State. I think we threw off of 94 yards that game. We lose 17-14 against App State. Makes you think, just what is happening, right? What is happening? And this is where we are. I'm sure offensive line had something to do with it. I'm certain of that. How much? I don't know. We saw the following game with Max Johnson. Miami was kind of a struggle, but it looked like a more competent effort. So, how much development went into Max that year? He had probably already had it, whatever he came to the field with, and we chose not to go with him. So, my number one choice for Jimbo this year to keep himself from getting fired is choose the right QB. Percentage-wise, what I think this is good, I'm going to go with like I'm gonna go with like 10%. But I think it depends on how we finish up this year. We're going into year 6, right? We've been hearing all the flack about year 5 for quite a while now. 5 and 7 after 5 years, man. Where's this going? After year 6, I don't know. Maybe if this is a debacle, I would up the percentage a little bit. It's hard to see us buy him out for 4 years left on the contract, especially when we've got the 22 class coming up in 2024 with a couple years under their belt, looking primed and ready to play. Probably we're gonna let him play that one more out and then see what's gonna happen after the 7th year. That sounds a little bit more to my liking. So I'm gonna put 10 years on this. I'm sorry, 10%. But I think this is a major decision for Jimbo this year. You need to get the QB right this year. Whoever you choose needs to be the guy. How he's going to make that choice, tune in tomorrow. We're going to talk about it. So this is a good reason. Like and subscribe. I'm going to be bringing all sorts of hot button topics to you, and this being one of them. How he's going to decide who's going to be QB, which one's going to be taken. We will talk about that tomorrow. Second thing that could get Jimbo fired. And I need to lay the groundwork for you big time here. This needs to go all the way back to 2011. I think after the 2024 year, we're going to be hosting Texas, I'm assuming on Turkey Day in 2024. How is that result going to come out? If that result comes out an L, do you think Jimbo's likely to get fired after that game? A few factors got to go into that, right? So one of the main things I'm thinking right here is just, how is my turkey tasting at this point? So I'm sitting down for a meal. I've got my turkey, my dressing, I've got my gravy, rolled, tea. I'm ready to go, right? So this is supposed to be a good meal. I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to go watch the game on prime time. I'm probably going to go watch this game. I'm expecting game day to be there, to be quite honest. Prime time, untold thousands of people at this game. I should be at this game. What am I thinking? So I'm not going to be eating turkey. I'll have eaten my turkey either the day before, or I'll be waiting for a plate when I get home. I'm going to be at this game. I don't know. It's so weird. We haven't been to this game in such a long time. What am I thinking? I will be there, and I'm going to be thinking in the moment, what am I going to be thinking? So, but I do compare it to that turkey dinner, I think, for a good reason, because however that turkey's tasting, for a lot of people that are going to be watching, that could have all the decision that needs to be put into this. So let's go back to 2011. Okay, interesting game. We led for most of the game. We are about 6 minutes left trying to get down and get a score. We end up throwing a few to the corner to Swope and Jeff Fuller, and then we finally decided to go over to middle to Jeff Fuller, and we put one in the end zone and go up 25-24. Missed a 2-point conversion on a, I don't know what kind of play you want to call that from Sherman, but it was what it was. We needed that to keep that field goal from being a factor. We don't convert. It is what it is. They got about 1:45 left, 1:30 or so. They come out, get out to about the 30-yard line. I believe we got a false start call. It's 1st and 15. There's a throw from Case McCoy down the sideline to Davis, and Hunter comes up and gives Davis a tap. Just a little tap, little taparoo. And this call, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. I couldn't believe that's what it was even said. I'm going to put this up on Twitter later, and we're going to see what people think about it. The announcers were all over this, hated the call, thought it was like unnecessary roughness. It shouldn't even be a factor in the game, these refs in this kind of situation. He pulled up, he could have laid him out, he didn't. So what are these guys thinking? Who knows? But it's 1st and 15, it's an incomplete pass, it's going to be 2nd and 15. Of course, they're going to go 4 down, so it's almost like it's a normal 1st down again, but still they've got 15 to go. And unnecessary roughness is called. 1st down, right? All right, that gets them to about midfield, and then we miss a gap right in the middle. I think it was Tony Girardetti missed. He kind of floated to the right, left the left side hole open, and Case runs for a good 15, 20, maybe even 25 yards. So they're down on basically our 20. Try a couple plays, we stuff it, work it down to no time left, and Dicker, I'm sorry, not Dicker, Tucker kicks he does his job. That's what the guy's paid for. So that left a bad taste in my mouth. Now, let's fast forward to 2023. What happens in 2023? Do we finish this year 10-2? Do we finish this year 8-4 or worse? I think this year has a lot to do with what we're going to be thinking about in 2024. So if we've got a good taste going into 2024 in our mouth, you know, we got our spread out, we're ready to eat, fork and knife ready to go come Thanksgiving. I'm feeling a little better, but maybe Jimbo's on the hot seat already coming in 2024. If he is, because we floundered this in 2023, that's going to factor in big time into what we're feeling like and what we want to do at the end of that Texas game in 2024. Because make no bones about it, that's a big game. That's a huge game. Now let's look at what happens in 2024, okay? Because this might have quite a bit to do with it too. We've almost got the same normal slate as usual, but a couple key games. We got Notre Dame, looks like to start off the year. Looks like it's slated right now, first game of the year. The bookend is Texas. No Alabama this year, so we've got that going for us. We're going to go to Florida. No Ole Miss this year, by the way. We got McNeese State, Bowling Green, and New Mexico. Those are our other out-of-conference games. Everybody else is the same. South Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi State, Arkansas, LSU. Fairly favorable schedule. So what does Jimbo do first game of the year, right? First game of the year, Notre Dame. What's supposed to happen in this game? And think for a second. You know what's supposed to happen in this game, right? This is a, hey, how you doing from 2020 kind of situation, right? Number 5 in the polls, we get left out of the playoff. Should have been there. We all know that was supposed to be that way. Notre Dame gets, spanked up and down by Alabama. Appreciate you. Roll Tide on that one. But this is our revenge game. Do we get that or do we not? We need to make sure that we don't get run off that field. We should be there in that game. We should be poised and ready to go. I mean, at that point, I don't know where Max or Connor's going to be. One of the two should be leading the helm quite well at that point. We'll have Stewart and a very competent offensive line play from these guys also from 2021 that we have recruited. Should be almost a banner year, to be quite honest. 2023, 2024, a lot of potential. That's going on. Maybe we only squeak out 9-3 in 2023. So I'll be looking at 2024 to see how we do in these critical games. Like we go to at Florida, they're gaining. That's going to be a tough one. But maybe we lose that one. Maybe we come out of that year 10-2 with a loss to Texas. Could you stomach that? Probably depends on how we play that game. But I think it'd be hard to realize us firing a guy for 10-2. That's pretty difficult. That probably, maybe if we lost to Notre Dame and Texas, you'd be like, look, we didn't hardly win a game that mattered. Everybody else we should have certainly won. Did we win anything close? Remember, 2023 is supposed to be a year of, if we're going to win the SEC and represent the West, then we've got to win close games. What are we doing in 2024? Are we taking 2 steps back? Can't do it, right? Can't do it. So, a lot to consider in how this game plays out, but I just think it depends on what that proverbial turkey tastes like at the end of the day. Is it rancid, or is it nice and savory? Am I ready to take my afternoon nap, and am I just at peace altogether? That'll have a lot to do with it. And with that schedule, we could be looking at perhaps a 12-team berth at that point. So going 10-2, missing out to Texas, we could still get in. That's a possibility. And if that happens, we're probably through that year. If we don't, things get on the fritz. He's finishing up year 7. We got about 3 years left, I think. So somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think, 30 mil, right? We can do that. So if it's close, you don't want to pay 30 mil. You're probably thinking one more year. So I'm going to give that kind of scenario a 25% chance that it happens. But if we lose to Texas, lose to Florida, lose to Notre Dame, and we're sitting at like a 9-3 season, let's just say we drop one more and we're 8-4, and we lose pretty badly to Texas, embarrassment type fashion in front of, like I said, untold how many, then yeah, I think we do have to move on from there. So a lot to think about, but hopefully not realistic, and hopefully not something that's actually going to come to fruition. So I don't want to think about it anymore at this point. Let's just go take care of business. So more coming at you this month. I have something out probably again tomorrow. So like and subscribe. And look, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So here's the thing. Bjork told me that as soon as I get to 1,000 subs, he is going to release the new entrance song for Kyle Field. So look, all the more like and subscribe. You'll be the first to know, and we'll find out what that actually is going to be, since it's not going to be power anymore. Until then, thanks and gig 'em.